things that you are passing through in life?
I like this part. I'll go. This is Josh. The reflecting thing is I always like to look to see if I could do better, just like Arthur was saying. I want, at the end of the day, feel good about what I did every day. I don't, especially like in this career where it's very competitive, I don't want to leave anything on the table to give anyone else the advantage over me. So my whole philosophy is make myself indispensable that way. So take on all projects, take on all responsibilities, talk to everybody that I can, because things come back to me that way. So I feel like I've done that through my career, and I'm usually like the go-to person because I put myself out there. I always reevaluate like what I could have done better, and then take that and improve with every project, every meeting, every interaction. So I like this topic.
What are the questions that you ask yourself to evaluate?
Did I give myself the chance to give 100%? Is there anything I would have done better? Okay, if there is something I could do better, that next interaction, because a lot of these interactions are, you have similar ones every time when talking to your team, coaching your team. The next time a certain situation is brought up that's very similar, hey, now I can pivot and I react this way. I don't know if you guys talk about emotional intelligence. That's one big thing that we really preach, like emotional intelligence and accountability, and that's
exactly
learning from your mistakes and then learning to be self-aware and how you're being perceived. And if you always do that, I feel like if you're always picture there's a spotlight on you, if you always picture there's a camera on you, what would you think of yourself watching that? And then, yeah, taking that interaction and making it better next time.
Yeah, it's really how I think of it. The power is in the questions you ask yourself. The quality of the questions that you ask daily are part of the reflection. You need to know what to ask yourself to analyze. How did I feel about what did I do? How can I do this thing better? What would happen if I did it the other way? So all these questions will help you understand the situation better and improve and prevent falling in the same mistakes the next time you pass through it. Cynthia, what are the questions that you ask yourself when after every experience?
Well, I always try to evaluate, okay, what could I have done better? What could I have done? How could I have gotten a better result? And you know, working as a team, when you work with someone, you always have that opportunity to evaluate, because sometimes we could say, okay, I could have done this better, I could have done that better, but a lot of times it helps better when somebody sees me outside the box. Like in this case, you know, I work a lot with Arthur, and, you know, so he evaluates, okay, hey, I heard that you said this, maybe you could have said this, or this could have been done a little different. I also had this lady one time in my business. She said, well, you know, I always have to evaluate, because this is when we used to go to people's houses, right? If you walk through your door, this is part of evaluating yourself and, you know, your appearance and everything. If you walk through your door, through your own door, and you're walking there, and you saw yourself walking through that door, right? And always stuck in my mind, would you buy from you, right? If you were talking to yourself, would you believe and would you find value in what you're saying to yourself? So when I heard this, that was really powerful, because that really gives you a different perspective. I was like, whoa, maybe I really need to change a little bit my appearance or the way I'm talking. So it's a way to evaluate, take a step back, and always see how I could have done something better.
Yep. I like that when you put yourself in the other person's shoes. Like, if I was in his place, will I buy? Will I react this way? So it's important to understand the other person's point of view, because sometimes we really mess things up and we blame other people for the reaction because we don't understand what they are thinking. So it's important to ask ourselves this question and try to look at the things from different level. Sarah, what do you ask yourself?
I can't think of anything work related, as I've been working from home and pretty much with my son most of the time. But if I do look back, I would probably find something. But what comes to mind now, I've been doing more of the Zoom meetings with you and the masterminds, and I do look back at the recordings, and I do watch myself. Although sometimes I'm like this when I play it back. But then so I try to evaluate. Well, I could have said something different, and okay, like I should, watch my posture or just certain things. So I do evaluate myself. It also reminds me of when Kobe Bryant had an interview, and his advice was for players to always watch their games. Even if it wasn't their best game, they have to watch all the games, and that's how they do get better. And that's something that I always try to remember.
Yeah.
It's to go back and see what you could have done better. Yeah.
You remind me something. When I first started speaking, I used to record videos. All my talks, I record them into a video. And I told when I was at John Maxwell certificate training, I asked Roddy Galbraith, who he is the instructor for public speaking. I told him, how can I have more confidence in my speaking? He said, watch yourself. Watch the videos. I told him I hate to watch my video. I'll be so critic about myself. He told me, if you don't want to watch yourself, how do you expect people to watch you? The only way to learn is by watching yourself and evaluating. It's not about looking at the things that you've done wrong, but looking at even the things that you did right, how you can improve them. So it's even as you said, Kobe Bryant, he doesn't tell them only watch the games that you lose. Watch the games that you win, and also evaluate how can you do it better, because this is the only way. You have to be your only competition of yourself.
I have another, not an analogy, but something that I've experienced of recent. My son had a conflict with his friend, and I actually was impressed of how I handled it. So my son's an only child, and I don't really know how he would behave with other kids as if they were siblings. So I feel like the way I handled it later on, I was like, wow, I think I handled it pretty good. I could have just took my son and said, we're leaving. Instead of that, I was quick on my feet. I came up with a solution. And later that day when we were driving home, I did ask my son, do you think we handled the situation properly, the right way? He's like, I think we did. Although he didn't in the moment, the punishment, because he had to buy his friend the pizza and pay for the tip.
You punished yourself.
But he said, yeah, I think we handled it the right way. And I said, good. But it was interesting to ask my son what he thought about the whole situation.
And it's something good also to share the people around you with the evaluation. If you were with your son or in the business, if you talk to other people and you know what, let's evaluate it together. I remembered something in Lebanon. I was working in a company, and the manager had this habit of always asking the employees, what do you think about the meeting? What do you think about the training? How can I improve it? It's not to evaluate himself as much as to know what other people are experiences, because it's important. It's the only way you can improve. The power of pausing, the first benefit of pausing, and I love this word, it's a reflection turns sight into insight. When you live an experience, you live it by your eyes, by your direct senses. Maybe you're listening, your eyes. But when you reflect on it, this sight will be changed to an insight. You will be seeing it with your brain. And this is when you will be able to know where's the things that you need to improve. What did you learn? What the lesson that stays with you for lifetime. It will change to a lifetime experience. If I want to look back at the years that you lived in the past, what experience that you handled maybe in a wrong way, and now with your growth, with your development, with your more experience in life, you felt I should have done it this way. From now on, it's a lesson I learned. Cynthia, you're muted.
Sorry, repeat the question.
Let me give an example about me. I had a certain life experience in the past. It was a problem in work. I was reacting out of my feelings. If I didn't take time to reflect, to evaluate what's going on, and then find a solution, I was just reacting out of like direct anger and feelings, competition and anger and all this. So now if I look back at the situation, I would say, oh my God, if I waited a few minutes, I reflected in the situation and put myself in other people's feet, I would handle things differently, and maybe I will get out of the situation as a victor, not victim. So I'm sure every one of us passed through this experience, and it was really enlightening for him to learn to reflect and not like be working out of his direct emotions. Who has such an experience?
Well, I go back to, I go back to 1990. Let me see, I think maybe like 99. So I had a boss, and you know, in the Marine Corps, I was like, I think I was kind of like Josh, but I was like, you know, I had to know where I was the go-to guy. I was the manual guy, right? So, you know, it didn't matter what they wanted to know. I had it. So I had this boss one time who I just felt like we wasn't clicking. And I remember one time I was in his office, and you know, I was a staff sergeant E6. He was a major, 04. So he said, you know, he goes, who do you look up to? You know, who you look up to? And I said, my father. He goes, you wrong. You look up to me because I'm the one that's going to determine whether or not you're going to excel in the Marine Corps. And I took that time to just my ego and who I was. I just let him have it. I went down from my dad became nothing to a multimillionaire. You went to school and you're just a guy that educated. You ain't nothing. I just laid it out there. And when I, as you're in it kind of stumped my growth in the military for several years, they held me back because of what he wrote on my eval. And stuff. So I always tell Cynthia this story. I said, you know, it actually slowed me down like 5 years in the military. I was promoted 5 years later than what I should have been promoted. But I look at that as I should have been more mature. You know what I'm saying? He was, you know, I could have handled that better. I could have been a little more level-headed. But I think I go back to, I'm kind of rated on maturity. You know, in the situation, I wasn't mature enough to sit there and be at the table and have that conversation. So therefore, I look back on that. So, man, if I could just go back, it'd be a way different conversation. But we live and learn. But I got to look at that now and stuff. So I said, man, now when I get in that situation, now I know how to handle it. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So sometimes it's better to understand those things. So that's my experience.
Yep, exactly. Sometimes it's because of ego. It's because like you want to prove yourself right. It's like there's a lot of emotional feelings that you don't want, but sometimes the power is by pausing and sitting and not reacting. This is powerful more than just trying to prove yourself right. Josh, you want to share something?
Yeah, so going on what Arthur says, again, he has some good points, but in life, I think you have to go through these things where you're immature at one point, and then you have to learn to mature through bad experiences. I feel like that was me growing up. So a lot of my reactions were emotional reactions and maybe not always the best. But once you consider the other person's perspective, then these emotional reactions start becoming strategic thinking reactions, considering like what they're feeling. And even if you know you're right, give a little leeway just to come to a compromise. I think that goes with a lot of relationships with work, with friends, with spouse. I know with my wife, I mean, there's times where I know I'm right, but I'm gonna give in a little bit. I'm gonna give in a little bit just to have like that peace and tranquility in the house, because things don't always need to be a fight. But that was a big struggle for me when I was younger, is not reacting emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And sitting back and thinking, okay, what's the best plan of action here where I can react and it's going to be a compromise, where I'm not like losing too much. But you have to do that in life now.
Oh, so you think it was a problem for you because you used to pause and reflect?
No, I think it was a problem. I just had to mature. I think I had to go through those things to get to where I am now, to get those bad experiences and learn from that. Just so, hey, if I have a fight, like an argument with a wife or so, now I know how to react better and I know how to, keep the peace.
Okay,
same with friends, same with family.
Now, there are things in life you have to experience the hard way. And this is when you learn. Most of our experiences, we learn them from the failures that we have and the mistakes that we do. But when you work on your personal development, when you listen to other people's stories, when you read their books and learn from their failures, you prevent yourself some lessons by learning them from other people's mistakes. It's easier way to achieve what you want to achieve or to grow at the personal level. It's good to learn from our mistakes, and it's important to fail. The more we fail, the more we are tending to succeed if we keep going. But sometimes we can save ourselves this trouble and learn from other people's mistakes. If while I was growing, I was listening to other people, I was like trying to see what successful people are doing, I will save myself the problem of doing a lot of mistakes because I will learn from them. This is what's, you can't save yourself from all the mistakes and all the failures, but there's a lot of things that you can prevent by learning from others, by listening to others people experience in masterminds like this. Anyone likes to share an experience? Okay, that's good so far. So other than reflection and asking ourselves a question, there is also pause. Sometimes we don't need to just stop and think about ourselves. Sometimes we really need to stop and evaluate the direction we are going in life, not what we're learning, and keep going. Sometimes if we are going the wrong path, motivation and asking questions to motivate ourselves doesn't work, because if we motivate ourselves, we'll go through this path. We need to pause and reevaluate and maybe change the direction of what we are doing in life. Does anyone have fixed time to sit and reflect and pause every day?
Pause every day.
Pause, stop.
Yeah, my time is in my car. Actually, when I'm driving, I take that time from the office to really, sometimes I just take the long way home. I mean, sometimes I just drive to just, the music, it just really, or we just reflect on, the day or who I am and, and what's occurred around me, or I take that time, or, when I go to bed at nighttime before I turn the TV off a little bit later, before I kind of doze off and kind of reflect on some things. And, and I think those are very important. I think we need that, stuff. So I think that's the time that we need to just take that me time for ourselves and really gather our thoughts and feelings throughout the day and what kind of impacted us, and kind of come to earth, to kind of come to understanding of all of it and try to process it all and stuff. So yeah, I think that time in the car and night time is when I really reflect on that. Yeah.
Okay. Do you write the things that you reflect on?
You know, every night I write down 15 things. I write
Okay.
it down. I physically write them down. I write down 15 things every night and 15 things in the morning. And I'm always, I think understand writing is so important. I think that when you write, you connect with it. You know, when you write it, you connect with it. It's a visual and a motor
Exactly.
that go along with it and stuff. So it's connecting you to what you're thinking, what I'm seeing, and what I'm doing and stuff. So yes, I do write it down. I write it.
Yep. This is one of the things that I really want to stress on. I train on successful business habits of the high performers. And it's not only habits of smoking or working out or eating healthy. There are habits of the mind. There are certain small things that you really don't see value in doing them every day, but they have the biggest impact on your success. And one of the things is writing down your thoughts, journaling every day, and writing down your dreams and goals. When I'm training, I ask people, what are your dreams or what are your goals? And they just say it. I tell them write them down. They always say, no, it's in my head. I know it. I know my dream. I want to buy this house. When you write it down, it creates a vision. It will be more existing. It will be there. So your mind will believe it, that it's not just a thought, not just an idea. It's something existing that you will have and you will own. So writing down everything is really very important. If you don't write, I don't know about, I'm sure Cynthia writes does a lot of journaling. I don't know about you, Josh. Do you write your thoughts, your reflections, your dreams and goals? I can't hear you. You're muted.
I have done that, but I'm not consistent with it. I could be a lot better at that.
Now consistency is also one of the habits of high performers. So yes, you need to create this habit. Try to find time every day to pause for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, evaluate what you passed through the day, write your experiences, the lessons you learned, and write down what you want to achieve and how these experiences are helping you to reach the goal that you want to reach in your life. So it's important to get used to writing. I want to create an accountability group where we can be accountable to each other actions, because sometimes it's easy to be easy on ourselves, but in front of others we feel no, we have to be committed. So one of the things that you really need to start doing to benefit out from this session is start writing down your daily reflections. Set 5 to 10 minutes per day and set like 30 minutes per week to evaluate the whole week, then evaluate the whole month. You start by small minutes per day, then 1 day per week, give it more time, 1 day per month, give it more time, and finally at the end of the year, evaluate how did you grow through this year? What did you learn from this year? What are the negative experiences that you passed through and the positive experiences that you passed through? And my advice to you, this is off the chart. When you write down negative experiences, write them in the minimum boring details, maximum boring details. Get into details as much as you can, because the negative experience looks like this, but when you write it into details, you will feel how simple it is. It will be very simple. But when you write about positive experiences, only the highlight. Don't go into details, because it will keep its value that it's positive. It's like a joke. When you say a joke a couple of times, it will be boring. So keep it exciting, the positive things, and let's cut down the negative things. Okay. Sarah, or Cynthia, you want to share anything?
I do.
Yep, Cynthia, please.
I do my reflections every morning. Also, and I try to get up as early as possible. making sure I get enough sleep, of course. And I have a little routine. I'm one of those people that very structured. I have what I get up, I do this, I walk here, and all that stuff. But I have to do it every morning. It gives you a strong start to your day. I know, Josh, you said you're not consistent. I actually did a video yesterday, and I posted it on Facebook about creating habits. Did you see it, Delita?
Yes, I liked it.
So it was about habits, guys, and it's so easy to say, oh my gosh, I don't have the time, right, Josh? It's like, oh, I don't have the time, or it's too long, or it's too hard. I mean, we're all guilty of that. I'm even guilty about when it comes to reading. But when I did that video, I said, okay, I gotta do that. But really it takes 66 days or 2 months to create a habit, which is, it's kind of a long time, or 21 days if it's something simple like drinking a glass of water every morning, or making sure you pray, something basic. But yeah, I created 2 minutes. You said start with 2 minutes with me, right? I'm gonna read for 2 minutes every night or every morning. I'm gonna read for 2 minutes, and then those 2 minutes turn into 5. Those 5 minutes turn into 7. Those 7 minutes turn into 10, until you create a habit, and now you do reading for 15 minutes, for instance. Every night. That case myself. But it's important to create that habit. And Dalita, for me, is so important to have that reflection time for me in the morning to write my goals. I also write like Arthur every morning. I write them down. I have a notebook where I go back and read the same things. And then we're always changing, but it really keeps me focused on my goals and why I'm doing this business, why I work hard every day and go through challenges. But I think for me, what works is when I'm writing them, I imagine it and I get excited about it. And so we gotta feel what we write and see it into the future. So when we have a business, it's important to have that and make sure that I take that time for me.
Yep. Exactly. Thank you, Cynthia. Sarah? She wants to build a habit.
Oh. You want me? What were you saying, Dalita?
No, we're talking about if you have the habit of writing down what you're passing through, your experiences, your dreams, goals, reflecting on your life, or you will start building it this week.
I'll start building it this week, but I did reflect in the reflection in the past, and I feel like I was better at writing down my schedule, having a block schedule, setting certain hours of the day. Somehow, I don't know how I got in the habit of just not doing that, but I feel like that was much better use of my time, and I will start this week to get back into that.
Okay, we'll check into that next week.
Okay.
You have a homework. Okay. What are the questions that you ask mainly when you are stuck? When you are stuck on a certain thing, what is the question that you ask yourself to be unstuck, or you like to listen from people to be unstuck, to get back connected into your dreams and goals? Yes, Sarah.
So the things that I do get stuck on, it's not a certain thing, but I do evaluate how I feel during the day, and sometimes I do feel stuck, but I don't know what it is, what's going on. I say, hold on, and I ask myself, what is it, Sarah? What is bothering you? What can you do to get rid of that feeling of being stuck? And it could be a simple email that I think I mentioned that maybe last week, but it could be a simple email that I need to respond to, but I'm just postponing. And it really is like a snowball effect where it just becomes something and I don't really know what it is to identify, but I pause, I take a step back, and I realize it's this small, that is holding me back from going on with my day. I don't know if that's a good example, but that's what I notice in me.
Okay. Who likes to share? What's the question that you ask yourself when you are unstuck to be able to continue or move on? When you are stuck.
I like to ask myself, what did I do to get myself into this situation? Like, how did I get here? Is there something I could have done a lot different? Okay, now that I've evaluated that, what do I need to do to get out of this? Or like, what would somebody that I look up to, what would they do in this same situation? Or what would my dad do in a similar situation?
Wow. Yep. So you really look up to your dad.
Yeah, my dad and I are best friends, but yeah, he's a good guy. So I learned a lot from him. A really smart guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. You have something in common with Arthur. He always talks about his dad. Okay. I like that. Like when you see someone who is successful and you like to always see what he would do in such a situation. And this is the good thing, to model yourself with people who are successful, who you want to be like them, to reach their level. Anyone wants to add? Cynthia, Arthur?
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Josh. I always ask myself too. I mean, if I'm in a situation and I'm looking around, and I try to always ask myself, what's the next step? Because sometimes we get caught on where we are right now that we don't think about what's the next step, so we get stuck. So we lose focus. So I thought, okay, just like you said, I'm here right now. Why am I here? What got me right here? And obviously, if I'm here, was it intentionally or was it unintentional? And if it was intentional, that means that now I'm here. Now, what's the next step? Left, right, straight forward, whatever. So I always ask myself, okay, what's the next step? What's the next step? And if I got it and don't understand it, then I got to ask myself, what was my last step? Where did I get lost at? How did I end it? So it's always, how did I end up here? Right. So it's always been aware of the situation and stuff. So I'm only asking my question, asking myself those two questions. Yeah.
Yeah. Cynthia?
Well, I always, of course, try to solve it myself first, but if I feel like, okay, I can't figure out how to get out of this one or how to get the best answer, one of the things that I've learned is you always try to figure out yourself, right? The best way you can before you even go out and talk to someone, because that's the easiest route. Okay, let me go ask someone. And that's what I used to do. I'm one of those people that if you give me the manual or the directions, I'll try to figure it out by myself, right? To before I have to read the whole thing. Or I'll ask someone, okay, go ahead and read it and tell me what it says, so I don't have to do that. And so what I've learned along the way is that the best way for us to learn is to try to figure it out the best way we can. And if we cannot, or we feel like, you know what, there's got to be a better way, then you go talk to someone. I know for Josh and Arthur is their parents. And my parents, to me, you know, I look up to my parents as well. I love my parents. But when it comes to business, they were not business people. So I have to go up to the next person. Okay, what's your opinion about this? In this case, Arthur, right? I'll ask Arthur. Hey, Arthur, what do you think about this? This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking will be the best solution. So go to I will go to the person that I feel has the knowledge, that I trust the knowledge, and that I know whatever they say, because their success and results, I know that their opinion is whatever they tell me is going to be good. So I try to learn outside from credible people.
Yeah. I agree. Now, Anthony Robbins says successful people ask better questions, and as a result, they get better answers. When you pass through any experience in life, if you look at it as a certainty, something, okay, I already know, I passed through it, you will end up in doubts. You won't know what you are passing through. But if you start your any experience with doubts, why is this happening? What did I do to make this happen? How could I prevent this happening? Then this doubt will result in certainty, and you will be more aware of the experience that you are passing through, of the lesson that you learned. So the quality of question really affects the result that you are getting. I really want you to have some questions in your mind to ask about any experiences. Maybe how, why, what can I do, and how can I prevent this the next time? What did I learn from it? There's a lot of questions that will help you prevent or learn more about every experience. I need to ask some questions that are maybe will trigger more awareness, more your you will understand yourself a little bit better. I would love if you can share it with us, and let's see how much you know yourself, or you can evaluate yourself. What is your biggest asset in yourself, not something you own as a person?
I think my biggest is I really I connect. I know how to connect with people, and I'm people can trust me. They feel comfortable with me. They, without really knowing me, they feel that they can trust me, and of course they can, because I'm that type of person. But I believe that's one of my biggest assets. I love people. I love helping people, and I'm trustworthy, and they feel it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Arthur.
Man, I want to say commitment and loyalty.
Commitment.
Yep. Yep.
Josh, what's your asset?
I've always been told that I can get people to rally behind me. I've built good teams. I've built like really loyal teams, for good or bad. I've always been able to rally troops and get people to buy in to what I have to offer, what I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say that.
Sarah?
3 things that come to mind. I was told that when I take on a project, or certain things that I'm 110% passionate about, so I don't do things halfway, or so whatever I do, I probably sound like I'm being a perfectionist, but I'm not. If I value something or care about the thing, I'm very passionate, and I will support the person, thing, or project that I have on hand. I am very committed to not to myself, but to like my job, the people that I work with. I think I need to have a little bit more commitment to for myself, and also loyalty and honesty are those are 4 things, not 3. That's what I think that those are some assets that I bring on to my team and my work.
Okay, I like that. What's your biggest liability? A habit or an attitude that is affecting or stopping you a little bit? You're responsible of having this habit that is stopping you from getting the results that you want in life or slowing the results? Now, I could tell you what's your biggest liability and you will say positive things about yourself that are helping you succeed. What we already know, you all have that. But I want to know what's habit that may be stopping you, and you own it. This is your responsibility. You are not able to get rid of this habit or attitude or mental belief. That's tough. Okay, Sarah.
I guess I would call it a liability. It's taking that first step. This is always my thing. Like taking the first step is always my issue. And maybe it takes me 2 months rather than a week to make that decision. But once I'm there, I don't regret making that decision, but it's just taking that first step. I feel like is a liability for me. I don't know. Oh. Did I get your question?
Yeah, so the problem is you always delay starting a project or something, but when you start, you're done. So you are a procrastinator.
I don't think well, yes, I'm a procrastinator, but what I notice is I have to believe in what I'm doing to take the first step. So maybe it's doubt. Maybe that's the liability, is the doubt for me to believe. It takes me a while. I'm not a risk taker.
Now let me keep this offline, but let me tell you a secret. It's only like several people will be watching this on YouTube. As Sarah, I want a favor from you. Please write a review about the Mastermind. This happened like a month ago. She attended maybe 2 masterminds, and I told her, please write me a review because it will help me in my business. And I appreciate if you write a review too. So last week, Sarah called me. She said, I'm ready now to write a review. I told her, seriously? Like, you're my friend and everything. Like, say something, like just, even if it was not like that deep, but say something, write me something, just because I'm your friend. But she didn't do it because she had doubts. Last week she didn't. She stopped having doubts. So now I understand what you are saying.
You see why I'm not a procrastinator. I really have to do it with not emotion,
passion.
But passion. Yes. See, they're all connected.
Okay, so do you feel this is a problem, that the only thing that you can succeed in if you have passion in it?
I do think so.
Now,
yes.
It's important to do what we are doing with passion to succeed, but sometimes we have to do things we don't like to achieve the things that we really like to do. So I don't like cold calling, but I have to do cold calling to achieve the results that I want.
I agree. And I'm noticing these things, but it's like after, let's say 2 years, I'm saying, I've read something. You don't have to see the full staircase to take the first step. And this is what I'm starting to believe. I don't know if we need to go in deep to prove that I've noticed that. You know, my dad, he has a product and he really is so passionate about it, but I didn't see his vision. I didn't see, I'm ashamed to say don't want to say I didn't care, but I didn't care enough to really try it out, to hear him out. I just said during quarantine, what the heck? Let me just try. And then I started seeing other people wanting that product, and that this product was a solution to other people's problems. And then that's when I was like, I think my dad's onto something. And it really took me 2 years to actually give it a try and to to see what it is. And I wish it didn't take me 2 years, it was sooner, but I don't need to see the full staircase to take the first step.
So let me get it this way. If I was someone who cared about you and want to give you a good opportunity and you didn't listen, would you rather keep it till you are fully like aware of it or have passion about it, or sometimes you prefer if this person forced you to go into this mission because when you try you will like it?
I don't like being forced into something, but sometimes I don't know it's not the incentive. It's not like money or anything that is
sometimes it's emotional incentive.
Yes. I'm still figuring that out, but it's not what's in it for me, but I'm learning that I need to
it's always one what in it for me. It's always.
Does it have to be that way?
Yes. I don't know if you agree, but yesterday we were watching Friends, and there's one episode where Joey and Phoebe, I'm sure you all watched Friends, right?
Yes.
There's an episode where Joey and Phoebe were fighting. Phoebe said there are good selfless deeds. And Joey says there is no good selfless deed. It's always something you get out of it. Maybe it's good feeling, but when you do something good, it's always because you are getting a good feeling about it or gaining some money about it. There's nothing for free in this life. Even when I give for free, there's an emotional reward I'm getting. So stop feeling bad about it. There should be something, what's in it for you. You agree?
I agree now. I like the emotional reward because now that I'm reading the reviews of this product, oh my God, I've been looking for over 2 years for this product or something to save my crop or to harvest, and thank you so much, and thank you for your dad. And
got you.
So maybe it's the emotional reward.
Okay, that's good. So what's your your biggest liability?
I think for me, I try to do different things at once. So I get distracted very easily. I'm one of those people that have to stay focused. And, if I'm talking to someone, you probably see me, Dalila, I write things down because not that I'm not paying attention, but my mind wanders, right? I'm trying to think of the next appointment. I'm trying to think, okay, what am I going to do here? And so it's just part of my personality. If I'm cleaning upstairs, and I go downstairs, okay, I should be cleaning this. So I stop and start cleaning downstairs and I don't finish upstairs. So I've been a working process to stay focused on the things that I need to do. And even when I clean when I'm at home in the business, and it's a daily, I don't know if the word is struggle or constant, I guess, I don't know, struggle to stay focused, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Because the more we grow, the busier we get, and so the more focused we have to stay. So to me, that's one of the things that will keep me. If I don't continuously work on it, it will stop me.
Yep. Let me tell you, this is one of the problems of all entrepreneurs. Because when you are an entrepreneur, you are working a lot of things at the same time. You are doing your task that you have to do, but you are the accounting and you are the HR and you are even you are following up with the building, what it needs services. And so there's a lot of things that you are thinking about other than being a mom and responsible for a house and grocery shopping. So And being an entrepreneur doesn't have a fixed time schedule. When you're an employee, you start working at 9, at 5, you forget anything about the work. But with your situation, you are handling 100 things together. And it's important to practice the pause every now and then, every 20, 30 minutes, just to breathe and sit down and make the best to be present in every situation as it is. Writing works in that. It's a good way to write because you are working two senses. You don't wonder much, but do meditate.
Every day I meditate. Is that
Yeah.
what you? That's what you asked?
Yes, yes.
I love meditating. Just like I said, is that time when everything is quiet, when it's just your time, and I just sit down on my couch and listen to audio, and that's the time when I write down my affirmations. And you know, YouTube is your best friend, right? If you don't have your own affirmations, but I still listen to that, and so I just close my eyes and I listen, and it just in peace. And you just, and one with the universe, right? And you try
Yeah.
you put your thoughts out there so that you can start your day great. But I think it's just very, very important to have that time. For me, it's become a habit. And
Yep.
if I don't have that, I feel like I'm missing out in my day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, John Maxwell says, when I pray, I talk to God, but when I meditate, I listen to him. So it's really very powerful habit that we all need to develop. Now, the point is, try to do, yep.
I just wanted to add that that's also the time when, yeah, you get to pray and really not just pray, but listen for yourself and really be in connection with God. When this is the time when you ask him and just feel it, and you know that he's your guidance, or whatever you believe in, the universe, But
Yeah. Try to do the meditation also during the day. It doesn't need to be as long as the morning meditation, but between tasks, try to pause. And Brandon Burchard says this technique, it's, let me think about it. It's like release what you did before and get ready to the new action. Instead of multitasking and doing two things at the same time, always disconnect from the previous act by breathing 2 minutes, meditating like a couple of minutes, and then get ready to start a new action. This way, you will be able to separate. You don't start the second action while thinking of the first that isn't complete yet. Split. You know what, like if you were in a phone call and then you need to start writing an app, pause between these two, release that one, and then start with a new one with a fresh mindset. Don't bring the baggage of the first action towards the second one, because if you don't do that, you will be thinking, oh my God, I should have said this in the phone call, and you are still writing your app. You are not present, and it will take longer time. So try this technique, and I'm sure it won't solve the solution 100%, but it will make a big difference. Okay, Josh, what's your biggest liability?
I would say I'm never satisfied. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little feedback there. I'm not the type that's been able to sit down and smell the roses. I have to go on to the next thing. But I think I need to sit back and relax a little bit sometimes and enjoy these little things, these little victories. I feel like maybe I miss out on things like career-wise, like the joy of things. But I think it's different in my personal life, though. So I have a goal ultimately of not working at 50. So I need to do everything I can as fast as I can. And, I might reach one thing, but then I'm on to the next thing. So I think that's kind of what drives me is I have a very limited amount of time to get things done.
I had this problem. I always like when I achieve something good, I don't, yeah, yes, I don't celebrate this victory. I start thinking, okay, I've did it. What's next? I always
Yeah.
has this feeling I don't enjoy or live the moment, but start writing it down. When you write this victory, you will see that it's really a victory. It's the same way when you need to control what you eat. When you are in a diet and you think what I ate through the day, you feel it's nothing. I ate a couple of things. It doesn't count, because maybe a small piece of chips, a small piece of chocolate, they are like, to your eyes, it's nothing. But when you write down what you are eating, you feel how many things you ate that you felt they don't count. It's the same way with big victories. Write it down. It will seem bigger than it really is. You need to start evaluate every moment, celebrate the small victories to have this drive and motivation and passion to go over to the next step. Every big goal is a series of small victories. So if you didn't appreciate these small victories, you won't be able to keep motivated to achieve this goal. Now you want to retire at 50. What's your goal for this year to bring you closer to retirement?
Well, it was to get to an RVP position this year, but I don't think that's going to happen considering all the crazy stuff that's going on with our work. But I have to learn to accept that. I'm trying to do some other things on the side. I'm trying to start a consultant business.
Law of attraction.
Yeah.
Law of attraction. Think about a promotion this year. Think about a source of extra income. And if you think positivity in a positive way about it, trust me, you will achieve it. Maybe the opportunity will come in a different uniform than you expected, but it will bring you closer to your goal. Law of attraction. It's really serious. Do you believe in law of attraction?
Yeah, I totally do. Yeah.
So stop saying it won't happen. It will in a certain.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, if it doesn't, I'm doing things on the side to make sure I put myself in the best position to hit that goal.
Okay, perfect. Arthur, what's your biggest liability?
What's my biggest asset? I mean, no, my liability?
Yep.
Control. I think I always got to be the one doing it. I think that's my biggest liability, and that limits me. I mean, I always got to be the guy. So it's letting go.
You don't delegate.
You know, I do delegate, but then I figure like I got to still be involved. I mean, even in Marine Corps, I delegate, but I'm gonna do it. I mean, like, hey, I want you to go do this, then I come and go. I'm gonna show you how to do it, because I figure if I do it, it's done right and stuff. So I think that's one of the things that I constantly. And Cynthia knows that. She do it every day. She knows that. I mean, I'm like, hey, you take it, and then I tell her she can have it, and then I'm always trying to intervene on it. So I'm working on just really trying to just taking a step back, trusting other people, and believing that it don't always have to be done Arthur's way. There's always more than one way of skinning the cat, and just believing and just allowing the process to happen. So one of my things that I'm just a go-getter and figure like, I'll just do it. Get out of my way. I'll just do it, and we'll get there. Not realizing that it's really holding me back because you're not allowing other people to develop along the way.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on it. So therefore, that's what I'm really is my biggest liability. Always want to be in control of it.
Yeah. So the problem you have, I don't want to say the problem. The habit you have is that you don't trust that the people can do it the same way as the perfect way as you can do it, or the problem as you are afraid to lose control of the situation.
I think that I think it kind of stems off the fact that, you know, when I go to and I spend half my years and half my life has been in the Marine Corps. I'm gonna kind of relate to that. Is that in the Marine Corps, if something don't get done, it's my fault. I don't give a care who you delegated it to. you was the leader, you was the boss, you should have made sure it followed through. So I've had to really I only been out of Marine Corps since for like 6 years. So I have to really believe that, hey, no one's going to say, hey, because of the fact that that T wasn't done properly, they're going to blame me. But
Okay.
that's where I understand there's always a different way to get it done. As long as the ball gets along across the goal line, it's okay. In the Marine Corps, there's a certain way, and I have to make sure it gets across there's a certain way. So therefore, I'm always injecting myself in it. Where here in the civilian sector is not really that much required. Because in the Marine Corps is like, hey, your mistake get people's lives. People's lives are in my hand, and I got to understand that there's no reset button. And here it's not that serious.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I want to say. When you delegate something now in your work or in your personal life, do you ask yourself, what's the worst case scenario if it wasn't done the way I wanted? What would happen?
That's a constant question. It is. I got to ask Arthur, what's the worst case scenario?
Okay.
I mean, but I always look at this. I always say, I always look at this. Is it going to be a reflection upon me? And I'm always trying to protect that brand, or how people perceive me, or, if there's a bunch of failures, I own that. I mean, people saying, hey, if people's underneath you, around you, and they're failing, it's got to be a reflection of the leader. And so I have to sometimes say, well, it is, but it isn't, but it is stuff. So those are just all the leadership skills and things that I constantly have to battle with because of going to war and dealing with things. So I have to, I ask me like, what's the word? No one's going to die, Arthur, right? Really, no one's going to lose their lives.
Yeah.
So just feel. But I'm always, and I tell Cynthia, I go, hey, if you was in a combat, somebody would have just died because you missed a number. She goes, really, Arthur? I'm like, I'm just saying. But it won't here. But that's the mindset that I'm constantly dealing with. Like, it don't have to be at that extremes and stuff. That's why I really try to take a step back a lot and go, hey, just run with it. And I'm gonna sit in my office and close the door and put my earplugs on and not listen. but it's trust.
Something. It's the first step is awareness that you have this liability. It's good to be aware of the situation. A lot of people are really micromanagers and don't trust anyone. They want to do everything by themselves. But when you tell them about it, they say, no, I trust you to do this. So they don't have this awareness. So it's important part that half of the solution is knowing that you have this issue or this liability. It's the second thing is, it really matters. How I see it, it matters two things. What if people see that you chose the wrong person? Every leader knows that failure is part of the process. So if you delegate something that doesn't really have effect on other people, and this person failed in doing what is requested from him, it's sometimes good learning situation for them.
Right.
They learn from their mistakes, and maybe the hard hit they get by failing in this process will empower them to succeed in enormous levels the next time.
Absolutely.
So it's a learning situation. So leaders shouldn't be scared of failing. They should know that it's part of the process, and part of growing leaders is making them pass through mistakes and learning from their mistakes and keep going.
I agree.
Okay. The second question, what is my highest high?
Your
I have to jump off. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It was nice meeting everybody.
Oh, same here. See you next week.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I thought he was saying he wanted to jump.
Yeah. Okay. So what's my highest high?
I don't understand the question.
High. What's something that you can achieve in life or do in life that you will give you the biggest emotional feeling? It's like you are smoking something and you are high.
Oh, okay. You're muted, Arthur.
What you mean I'm muted?
You were muted.
I know. So you asked me what's my highest high?
Yep.
What makes Arthur tick?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you mean just everything? Just if I had to say right now, what's my highest high? I have to say my grandkids.
Wow. Oh my God, I miss my nieces and nephews.
Oh, I didn't mean
Oh my God.
that.
Yeah.
But Cynthia knows. I mean, it's funny because if I say my grandson, cool. I say my granddaughter, I just light up, right? And they're right now they've been gone for a year and a half, almost 2 years in London. So I see them on Zoom every Sunday. We Zoom each other, but yeah, I just that's the highlight of my life. I mean,
Wow.
that's my greatest high is my grandkids. I mean, and I just, yeah, nothing beats that. Yeah. That's
When they talk about you, what is the word that you want them to describe you with? Maybe not now, in 10 years, in 20 years.
that I was a winner. That I was a winner. I was there. I want to be their hero. Like my dad's my hero. I want to say that's my hero. So that's what I want them to see me as a guy that went to war for them. Yep.
Okay.
And I tell them every Sunday. I tell them that you know what Grandpa is doing, so that when he leaves this world, it goes to you. I'm going to work for you every day, is so that your life's a better life. I always tell them that. So I want them to see me as the guy that went to work for them, their hero. Yep.
Okay. Cynthia.
Well, Arthur knows they're my kids, right? My daughter was here this morning and he's like, well, you're spoiled.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And that's because, I mean, they're good kids, but I just adore my kids. You know, I'm sure you guys know, right, how it feels. I don't have grandkids, so maybe they would be my grandkids, but yeah, my kids are my pride, and I try to give them, I give them the best of me, and I'm not talking materials. I wouldn't give them, I'd rather give them something valuable that they're going to learn in life, that they're going to learn, especially being in this industry and doing so much personal development that I do, and I try to transfer as much to them. But yeah, to me, it's like I could be, wherever, and as long as work together, that's fun to me. And so I'm doing this business and I'm doing whatever I have because of them. I want them to be proud of me. I want to be able to, as much as I possible, give them what I have the opportunity to give them what I want, what they need, and what I want to give them without having limitations. Like they say, money's not everything, but you can't do anything with money without money, right? So I mean, we need money for everything. And when I have grandchildren, I want them to be able to come to my house, and I want to be able to just give them everything. And I hate having those feelings, say, I can't do this because we don't have enough money. I can't do that, or we have to. So with building a business is giving us that opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. Sarah.
I know everyone's talking about their kids or grandkids, but I would also say my highest high is my son. Obviously, it could also be the opposite when he's giving me a hard time, but I honestly forget about those moments when, with just seeing he learns throughout the day or the years, and then when I can actually have a conversation with him and we connect, and I realize, wow, like I see him for more than what he is, which is a child. I see that he's learning and how he perceives life and how he appreciates certain things where I wonder if he does, but it's just the moments that I get to spend with him that that I realize that I'm doing a good job, and you know, so that it's my son. Although sometimes, like I said, it could be the total opposite during the day, like yeah, it's my son.
And can I chime in real quick?
Yeah.
From somebody who raised kids, I'm gonna tell you, they listen. You know, I tell Cynthia, I mean, I can tell you that, you know, my kids are now 31, will be 32 and 30, and I can tell you that they listen. And, you know, no matter how many times you say it over and over, I tell people this, you know, as long as you're giving your best work, they don't know, right? They don't know. I mean, kids want what they want. So what they want is not always right. You got to look and go, look, you can't have everything you want in life, but you got to make sure that you give them what they need. And when they grow up in life, they will truly appreciate that. They don't understand it now, but I remember I went to boot camp, 18 years old, and I was laying in that bed that first night by myself. And I literally, a flashback went back like I was in my bedroom and everything, my mom and dad was outside. I didn't want to be around them. They was doing adults thing. And I go, if I could just go back right now and just spend those moments with them, I would. Because you don't know what you miss until you're gone and stuff. So right now, you know, he knows that what he gets, mommy's supposed to give him. So he thinks that's just what the world is. But when he leaves and realizes, like, man, you know what? I got the best mom. Man, I'm fired up about that. I'm just he gonna tell you that. You know, and my mom's my angel. No woman come before my mom. My wife knows my wife is one alpha, one B or whatever. My mom is number one. And so trust me, they do. You don't see it now, but you will. Because my dad probably never thought he'd never hear me call him my hero. Because when I was 16, I couldn't stand him. Oh, are we videotaping this? Dad, I love you. Right? So it's the truth. I couldn't stand my dad. But now he's everything in the world on me. And I'm just letting you know that your son and your kids do love you. They do. They do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. The last question is, what's your lowest low? Also emotionally, what is the thing that affects you really emotionally and the thing that you can't overcome easily?
I think to me is, I'm the type of person that I would never hurt anybody intentionally. But if I do, right, unintentionally, it's especially someone that I love and is dearest to my heart, it really, that's what hurts me the most. That's what hurts me the most, because I would never do something intentionally, but when I do, or somehow it maybe comes out the wrong way, or whatever the case may be, is to me the people that are closer to my heart. And if I somehow I do something to hurt them or offend them, that could be the lowest of the lowest to me.
Mm. Okay. Yep. How can you overcome that? It will happen sometime. You will hurt someone. We are living, and as long as we are contacting with people and interacting,
Yeah,
we will do mistakes. So how can you overcome this pain or this feeling?
well, I think the best way to overcome it is knowing that we're humans, and we're certainly not perfect, and we're never, you know, we're all different. We all think differently. We all have different ideas, and so sometimes we're gonna disagree with those people, and maybe just by disagreeing, you may hurt somebody's feelings, not because you intentionally. It's just knowing that as long as you didn't intentionally try to hurt someone, and it's gonna happen, is just have to. I think that the answer will be accepting that sometimes you're not gonna please everybody.
Yeah. I used to have this problem. I don't like to see people mad at me, but sometimes it's different values, different mindset. I watched a training that says people are three kinds of apples. There are the red apples, the green apples, and the rotten apples. The rotten apples, whatever you do, they will have problem with you, whatever happens. The red apples are whatever you do, they like you. No matter how bad you were to them, how much you ignored them, they still like you. And it's like in their mindset. And the green apples are the people that we are interact with daily. They may like us, they may don't. It depends on our behavior with them. And at the same time, their behavior with us. Some people, it's just because I have long hair, they don't like me. It's really, you can't control the, it's people take an idea of you out of their own experience, their own history, out of their own reflection, not of you. Sarah, what's your lowest low?
I don't know what's the word, but you did mention if, was it, I don't know, was it Cynthia? No, but maybe they do come hand in hand between what you said, Dalida, and what Cynthia said. It bothers me when it's not a people pleaser trait, but I want everybody to be happy. If I don't want to hurt anybody unintentionally, and I want to do my best. So I feel like it's the certain expectations that I want to reach everyone's, not everyone's, but the people that I do love, their expectations. And if I don't, that I feel I take really hard on myself. So, yeah.
Okay. Arthur.
I knew he's gonna come to me. I'm like, I'm thinking hard too.
You're thinking hard?
I don't know. I mean, somebody, to me, I hate somebody when they lie to me. You know, that's something that I can never forgive. Loyalty to me is everything. I mean, but me so far, I don't know. I think the only thing that really affects me in life, really, the only thing that really affects me has been a failure. I don't want to fail people. I just don't want to fail. I think that's the biggest. I mean,
fail all people or the people you really care about?
The people. Well, I'm not a people pleaser, so I was people that I really care about. I mean, I just don't want to. I mean, I've had people hate me, and that's fine. I just understand all I'm doing was moral, ethical, and correct. You deal with that. It ain't got nothing to do with Arthur. So I think that went around the right. So thank you for me clarifying that. I think the people that mean the most to me.
Yeah.
I just don't want to fail them. I just always want to make sure I come through for them. You know, and that's why I just always try to make sure I'm the better version of Arthur and trying to become the better person of me, so they know, hey, I'm value. So, yeah, failure.
Yeah, actually, to me, it's both the highest emotional, the highest high and the lowest are my family. Maybe it's the same as you do. I love them so much. They are the reason that I'm happy and I'm motivated to create the best version of me. But at the same time, this loving them that much is creating some weaknesses because they are my strength and weakness at the same time. Like right now with my daughter, sometimes I want to be a little bit tough on her, create some discipline, but I can't see her sad. So I want to see her always happy, and this is stopping me from being the perfect mom that I have to be, and showing her that disciplining her the right way. So yeah, sometimes the biggest weakness and strength are the same thing, but you need to create this balance because this is how you can continue in life. Thank you so much. I really feel this session was deep. I don't know, it went into emotions and mindset. We are triggering our mind in a different way. Thank you for attending every time. I really appreciate it and hope you are getting value that I'm getting from these sessions. I'm really back on track with all this deep thinking.
Yes.
Is there anything you like to add, to say at the end of this session?
I think it's good. Thank you. I mean, it kind of makes you look at yourself differently. I mean, really realize that, you know, it really does start with you. And a lot of stuff, I mean, it's, you know, we sometimes get caught up and don't realize how much we go through on a daily basis. And like you said, writing it down, just like the simple thing you said, like eating. You're right. I go to bed, I think about, I don't eat that much, but then if I was to write down how many donut holes I eat throughout the day, I probably eat a whole donut or two. But I say only eat one, or I just, you know, I'm supposed to be leaning out. But
Yeah.
it's just a simple thing of tracking it and writing it down and go, wow, you know, or how many negatives or how many positives throughout the day. So you're so right. We just don't, sometimes we just get in it and just go through, everything becomes a habit of it. And we think, hey, and we be selective on what we do and stuff without being persistent and stuff. So I think this was a good concession and stuff, but I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next week, I will be in the plane on Thursday. I will arrive maybe a little bit before this time, in Lebanon. It will be 3 a.m. in the morning. So I'm thinking we'll do the session on Friday. The same time, but Friday instead of Thursday. So we'll do it I'll be in Lebanon, and we will discuss consistency. So this is also an important subject, and a lot of people suffer from this problem. Okay?
All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night. I'm trying to invite a lot of people, and I'm talking, many people are registering, then they cancel the last minute. So it's normal. We need time to grow, but we are benefiting from it. It's okay.
No, you can't control other people. Most important one to show up. That's why a lot of people
I know.
really, because they don't do change and stuff. So we continue to show up and push forward and make the best out of it.
Yep. Thank you so much, and have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Sarah.
Bye, Cynthia. Bye, Arthur.
Bye.
Bye.